The Endangered Wolf Center was founded by Marlon and Carol Perkins, who brought thoughtful individuals together to solve a really big problem. And that was two critically endangered species, the Mexican and red wolf, were on their way out, and Marlon and Carol thought they needed to do something.
They started the center in 1971, before the Endangered Species Act was ever created. It was the first center of its kind, and without it, we probably wouldn't have Mexican wolves or red wolves today.
Wolves are misunderstood, and they've paid a price for that. What we believe here at the Endangered Wolf Center is that we have much to learn from wolves, and they can teach us not only in terms of their relationships within a pack, but also how they bring healing and balance into healthy ecosystems.
The mission for the Endangered Wolf Center has always been to educate about this misunderstood species, to release animals or rewild them back to their native habitat, and to do research.
The reason the Endangered Wolf Center was founded and that we focus on the wolf for our conservation efforts is because they are keystone species. Marlon and Carol and their founders saw that by saving the wolf, it's this umbrella species that's going to help so many other animals and plants in the ecosystem. We got to see this with Yellowstone. When they brought gray wolves back to that ecosystem, it changed everything. Unfortunately, wolves had been eradicated from that area and been lost for over 70 years. And without wolves there, we saw deer and elk populations skyrocket. And with that, we saw plants disappear. To be able to support those deer herds, they ate everything down to the dirt. But by bringing wolves back, they saw the populations of elk and deer come back to a natural level that ecosystems could sustain in Yellowstone. And wildflowers came back, and songbirds and butterflies, and the herds got healthier. It just made such an impact. And so we know that moving forward with Mexican wolf conservation, red wolf conservation, and the other species that we're working with, what it can do for those ecosystems too.
A key mission point of the Endangered Wolf Center has always been to debunk the big bad wolf. And we have so much baggage behind this species, and it's something that is so integral and something we really have to do as part of our mission. Because you can release wolves all you want out into the wild, but if you don't actually change the cultural value of that animal to be positive instead of negative, it really doesn't do the species any good. So at the Endangered Wolf Center, we have a lot of tours and educational programming. That's such an integral part of our mission. One of the most exciting things is to come to the Endangered Wolf Center and see our camp kids get excited about these animals. Sometimes our camp kids come and they're a little bit afraid of wolves, as most people are. And then they get here and they spend a week and they get excited. They meet our keepers, they come down, they meet our animals, they do all kinds of fun activities. And by the end of that week, they are nothing but positive. They talk all about those cute animals. They usually have a favorite, and then they go back to their parents and they tell them, there's no more big bad wolf, Mom and Dad. There's this cute wolf and I love them and I want them out in the wild. And we know we can check the box, we did something successful, and that generation's gonna influence the next one.
We're gonna talk about like the wolf place and how fun it is.
Wolves are not as scary as you think. Maybe you read stories like Little Red Riding Hood or The Three Little Pigs, or watch movies where wolves are represented as the big bad wolf. But that's not really true at all. Wolves are really just beautiful creatures, and they try to live as well as they can. And they're not doing so great because people misunderstand them. People think that they're the big bad wolves, but they're really not.
As a biologist, we always want to talk about the reason that we love wolves is because they make such an amazing impact on the ecosystem. For me, the reason that I love them and how I've connected with them is because I love their family. I love watching them grow and their different personalities and how bonded they are as a pack. Being able to see the mom and dad raise the puppies and the older siblings come in and help take care of them, teaching them how to play and hunt. It's incredibly moving to see these animals interact together and see that bond. The Endangered Wolf Center has been pivotal in wolf conservation because they've been able to look at what the wolves and the community need in the recovery areas for these species, as well as our partners. Being able to create new, innovative techniques of reintroducing animals that helps them succeed, as well as adding to the toolbox of conservation. One of the coolest innovative techniques that we've helped to grow for both the red wolf and the Mexican wolf is our pup foster program. being able to get puppies into the wild, raised by moms who are wild and have those instincts and those natural skill sets already, to be able to get new genetics into these critically endangered populations is one of the programs I'm most proud of.
The individuals that make up this entire organization are incredibly dedicated and passionate, from our volunteers to our board to our staff and all the supporters that come to visit us each and every day.
We focus on making sure that we're preparing our wolves for a life in the wild, making sure they have the skill sets, looking at their natural behavior, so that when they're released into the wild, they not just survive, they thrive and help the population grow. That combined with our education programming that tells the story of these animals in a way that creates empathy and understanding, so that we can increase tolerance and hopefully pride in the conservation efforts that we're doing for the animals.
Saving wildlife and wild places really is about people. It's something that's so essential for our ecosystem, essential for our health as humans, as well as for the health of the planet.
And we see the importance of that, I think, particularly in the last couple of years when things have gotten out of balance.
So with that, the center is essentially rewriting history. We're fixing what we've broke. We didn't understand as humans our impact on the ecosystem and how it could really affect things, and we're changing that. We're making sure that these animals have a future, that for generations we can hear their song in the wild and make sure that that's not lost.